Yo guys, my name is Kees and welcome to Beyond Yourself. And today I want to talk about nutrition and how it affects you, like from top to down, and how you can like make small changes which have like big impact on your health through nutrition. First, I want to explain to you like what the big picture of like nutrition is. And for me, the big picture exists out of like two components. First of all, you have like whole foods versus processed foods. And all foods you can put in one category. So whole foods, for example, a potato. Whole food is, for example, an egg. It's like a food which is not processed by any factory. And then you have like the processed foods. This is like food which comes from a factory, and the factory put like additives in this, and they work on this food to make it a certain project. So for example, if you're buying like a burger from the Burger King, this is really processed food, because for example the bun of the burger is like processed because it's come from a factory. The meat is probably like very processed. And yeah, just these two components, this is like for me the base of nutrition you need to know. And the goal is to eat 80% whole foods, in my opinion. This is a good guideline to eat healthy. So 80% whole foods, 20% processed foods to start with. Eventually you want to eliminate all the processed foods. It depends like how far you want to go in this lifestyle. Okay, then second thing is like the amount of calories. So how many calories, like how much does your body like burn on a daily basis? So for some people this would be like 3,000 calories, for other people like 2,000. It depends on a lot of things, and it differs also from person to person, so it's really individual. So I challenge you to think about like how much you need on a daily basis, and from there you can see like do I eat enough, do I eat too much, and from here you can say like oh, I'm losing weight and this is why, because probably you're eating below your calories. And so calories and whole versus processed foods are the big picture for me, and they will decide like how you feel, and also if you gain weight or lose weight or stay in the same weight. And the last point is like I put water. Water is just in general like very important to consume, because it's just like 70% of your body's water, so always make sure you're drinking enough water. So this is like the big picture of food. I try to explain it as simple as possible. And when you fix this, so this bigger picture, you are already like halfway, or like 60% there. But then you have like another level. It's like, I call it medium. It's like the macros, and the macronutrients, they are like a calorie exists out of like certain macronutrients. So for example, you have an egg and it exists out of like a certain amount of macronutrients. So you have three types of macronutrients. It's like carbs, proteins and fats. And every food exists out of these components, and all these components combined, they decide how many calories it is. And so you have like carbs. Carbs contain like per gram 4 calories, and fats contain like for 1 gram 9 calories. Proteins contain for 1 gram also 4 calories. And then you have alcohol as well. It is like 9 calories per gram. So you need to become a bit of like aware of like the food that I'm eating right now is like fatty food, is like has it carbs, and at some point you are really good at this, and you'll just see bread with an egg with some meat. You know, like this contains proteins, fats and carbs, and it's also like nice balance. And for this, and there's a certain balance which there's a certain like healthy balance ratio in the macronutrients. So for example, I think it's like 30% carbs, maybe 30% fats, or 40% like proteins. I don't know, I'm just saying something right now, but you have to look it up if you really want to know the exact ratio. And if you keep to this ratio, it's like you are giving your body all the macronutrients it needs. So these macronutrients, they are like the building blocks of your body, and they serve all like a different purpose. So for example, carbs give you like the energy. Proteins, they rebuild your muscles and they rebuild like your cells in general. And fats, they are there for like your hormonal like balance, so testosterone and estrogen and all the other stuff. So all these three macronutrients, they serve a different purpose. So investigate like what you're eating and how your ratio is looking like. So this is like the medium level. So if you tackle this big picture, you've like done 60%, then the macronutrients, they're like 30%, so then you're like 90% there. And the last are like your vitamins, minerals and superfoods I put here. And vitamins and minerals, they are like really essential for your body to function, but they are like the smallest scale. If you compare like a calorie, then you have macronutrients, and then you have like vitamins and minerals. But it doesn't mean like this is not important, because your body will literally not function if you do not have like enough minerals and vitamins. So don't think like it's like this one is more important than the lowest one. Look, in general, when you get like enough calories, you will also get like enough vitamins and minerals, especially if you get 80% from your whole foods. But you can never say like, oh, this is like the smaller picture, so you can neglect it. It's like as important as all the other things. So vitamins and minerals, what I mean by this is just vitamin C. It's like just eating enough fruit, eating enough vegetables, and minerals, like do you get enough salt, especially if you're sweating a lot while working out. Because from my experience, when I started boxing, I was sweating much more than I did during weightlifting. And every time after boxing I had like a headache, and I was like, fuck, I feel like so down, and I was like, I'm tired and this and that. And eventually I found out it was just always, my body was like completely dehydrated, so I just didn't have enough salt and I couldn't retain my water. So really important, if you like sweat a lot, get also extra salt in. And then you have also superfoods, and I put some examples, maybe raw honey, grass-fed beef, salmon. Those are foods which contains like really high amount of like vitamins and minerals, and they're also whole foods. And for me, they're always like a big yes, because they are so dense with like micronutrients and stuff, and macronutrients, that I'm like, it's like actually a jackpot if you ask me. But people also have different opinions about this subject, but that's no problem. For me, these foods are like really, they're really good, and they contain a lot of like nutrients. So I hope it's clear that you have the big picture with the whole processed foods and calories. After that comes the macros, so proteins, carbs and fats, and then at last you have like the micronutrients, which then I'm talking about like vitamins and minerals. And yeah, this is like how you can divide nutrition in like the most general way, and I hope you can learn something from this. The most important thing I want to say is like really focus on the whole foods versus processed foods, because we live nowadays in a society where so much is processed that you almost don't know it. For example, if you go in the supermarket, like a lot of stuff is actually processed. So investigate in this for yourself and find out like which foods are not processed and where you can get certain foods, maybe at an organic store, I don't know, but really investigate this topic yourself, because if you're gonna put like whole foods into your body will respond much better to it. So that was it. And yeah, I'm thinking about another thing I want to say, but I'm giving away all my tips. But that's what I'm here for. But I think also if you maintain like a diet which is predictable for your body, it's also much more healthy than when you eat every day something different, because your body is actually just a machine. It's just like it creates like the enzymes in your stomach and like your intestines, and it creates the enzymes and the other stuff which is needed to process it in a way which is predictable. So it always it prepares itself for the future. So for example, I eat every morning the same breakfast. My body is not like responding to this anymore, because it's just every day the same. It knows like what to do. And I think this is also good for a day-to-day basis. I'm not saying eat every day the same, but focus on a few foods which are like stable. And then, for example, for breakfast for me is always the same, but lunch and dinner it varies. But still, within the variety, it's still often the same. I'm not saying you have to eat every day the same, but try to be consistent with the types of food you eat. Okay, that was it. Like the video if you liked it, subscribe to the channel if you want to see more, and see you in another video. Ciao.